Jeez, okay, steady. Alright. Hello everyone, Fantastic. My name is Luke, and this week we are talking about fashion. And that's a very broad topic, so I don't really know exactly what to talk about. In regards to my fashion, I've already explained my fashion in the gender tag video, so if you really want to know what I like to wear, you can check that out. I'll link it somewhere. But long story short, anything really, I'm not too fussy. I like to wear t-shirts, and I like jeans, and I'm pretty casual, although I do like to dress up as well. So it really depends on my mood. Like at the moment, because it's kind of cold, I'm wearing a lot more button-up shirts and stuff like that, but the second I get back to Australia and it's gonna be hot, I'll be wearing either no shirt or tank tops, because even though it's a little bit daggy, I like being able to wear tank tops without having a binder underneath, and you know, I'm still in that honeymoon period after top surgery, so I struggle a lot with finding clothes because of my body shape. I'm very small, I'm only 5'3", so I'm quite short, and so when I choose clothes and when I buy clothes, it can be a little bit of a challenge, and it can be a little bit dysphoria inducing and kind of scary. And so for the longest time I would kind of just go out as quick as possible and grab something that looks somewhat the right size and then hope for the best, and that was sort of my attempt at shopping. I like to be quick with my shopping. I don't like to take too much time on it because it makes me think about, you know, oh, if I was cis, it wouldn't be a problem buying pants because I would have smaller hips and I'd have longer legs and it'd be easier, yada yada yada. And so to avoid that, I kind of just try and not shop and avoid it. But unfortunately, you do need to buy clothes, and it's very important unless you want to sort of walk around naked. And again, that's probably not the best option because it's not socially acceptable. You know, there is a benefit to buying clothes. I've developed tactics and sort of items that I stay clear of when it comes to shopping, and I'm just gonna tell you those. I made a massive Tumblr post, it would have been a good 2.5-3 years ago maybe, on my Tumblr, about sort of ways to shop and things to do. I think it was like a massive passing tips post or something like that, and I got really excited because it got like 14 notes, and I was like, oh my god, I'm like famous. Pretty sure I talked about it there, so I might link that below if it's still relevant. I can't remember if it's still relevant. In general, when it comes to shopping, make sure you buy clothes to the right size for you, because if you buy something that's too big and baggy, you're gonna end up looking like you're swimming in your outfits and swimming in your clothes, and that will in turn make you look smaller. But also, if you wear stuff that's too tight, it's just gonna highlight your curves, it's gonna highlight things you might not necessarily be happy about. You know, if you're wearing a really tight shirt, you might be able to see your binder through it. If you're wearing really tight pants, it's gonna make your hips really obvious, and like same with shirts. If you wear tight shirts, it's gonna really like show off your figure, which might not be best if you're trying to, I'm not gonna say pass, but trying to look more masculine is what I'm gonna say, because you know, like, concept of passing completely, like, that's a whole different video. But for me, when I'm shopping, I want to look as masculine as possible, and that's nothing to do with like passing or society's expectations on me. It's just I prefer to look more masculine, and that's something that I strive to do, and if I don't, I get dysphoria. And not everyone is like that, and I don't say that everyone has to be like that. If I reference term passing or choosing items that make you look more masculine, like, I don't mean it to be offensive, and I don't mean it to be like, oh, you have to do this, otherwise people won't see you as male, and people, if you don't do this, people won't recognize you as male. I don't mean that at all. It's just for some people, and especially for me, it's important, and it's important to acknowledge that. There's a lot of talk about, you know, passing privilege and how passing is this bad thing and that people shouldn't have to pass and stuff like that, and that's true, but it's also important to acknowledge that the reason people want to pass, and some people do want to pass, and that's completely valid. Even passing is not the right terminology for it, but I'm just using well-known terminology that's, you know, used in the community so that people kind of understand what I'm talking about. Does that make sense? I hope it makes sense. We're moving on from that. When it comes to buying shirts, make sure you buy shirts that aren't too tight in the shoulders. You can tell by where the little divot comes. If it's like all the way up here, you've got a shirt that's too small, but if it's really baggy and off, that's too big. Try and find shirts that are a little bit looser and baggier in the size, but tight in the shoulders and arms. That will make you look a bit more muscular. I don't really have any of my clothes in here, so I can't really show you. V-necks are also very good for making you look more muscular as well. Along the same vein as that, wear lighter colored clothing on the top half of your body. Dark clothing is very slimming, and dark clothing kind of makes things look smaller, and that's true, and the same is the opposite with light. So if you wear a light shirt, you're going to look bigger, and you're going to make the area look bigger. You don't necessarily have to wear like bright colors everywhere, but I find that wearing lighter shirts and darker pants really helps sort of make my body appear more masculine. Avoid slim fit shirts as well, and that's along the same thing, trying to find things baggy, especially when it comes to dress shirts. If you find dress shirts that say slim, stay away from them, because basically what happens is you buy them and they'll fit perfectly in the shoulders, and they'll fit nice, and it'll be nice and tight, and then it'll get to your hips and you won't be able to do the last button up, and it's so frustrating. I do have a couple of these shirts. I only wear them tucked in because they're good tucked in, because there's not much material there and it's pretty tight to you, so they don't come up very much. So if you're going to tuck it in, get shirts like that, but if you're not tucking it in, it's best not to, because the tightness will draw draw a lot of attention to your hips, and I know for some people that's uncomfortable, and for me it's uncomfortable, so don't do that. Like, one of my favorite shirts of all time, I'll put a picture, is like a slim fit shirt, and I can't wear it untucked because literally it brings so much attention to my hips and it's like not a fun time. But when it comes to pants, try to find pants that are baggy but not too baggy. That might mean going up a size. I generally try to find pants that fit, and I don't really worry about the length because you can either get things altered or you can roll things up, and that works quite well, especially now that cuffing pants is like more common, and that's kind of the trend. Like, I have chinos and I literally like always wear them cuffed up, not because they're too long for me because I got them altered, but because people wear them cuffed up, and that's just the style. I find pants with elastic are pretty good as well. I'm wearing pants with elastic right now. I don't know if I can show you. No, that's not working. They draw your pants to the bottom so they don't look as baggy and big. So if you wear pants a little bit looser, they don't look like super baggy, especially if pants aren't skinny fit, because if they're skinny fit, they kind of like go down a bit. But if they're like baggy, it will make your legs look kind of weird if you have to wear them because they're too big for you, but they're like big around the top, so it's kind of difficult finding the right proportion. So I try and find skinny jeans, but not too skinny, because they end up turning out looking like regular fit jeans on me because my hips are so much bigger than a cis guy with like my leg length, because my leg length is pretty short. So if I wear skinny jeans, they kind of fit more like baggier jeans, if that makes sense, because I've got to get a couple sizes bigger than what I would normally. Yeah, I have to get a couple big sizes bigger for my hips. This is kind of turned into a clothing slash fashion. It's not just about fashion, but wear what makes you comfortable, and screw anyone who makes fun of you for what you like to wear. You can wear whatever you want, and you can identify however you want. Your identity isn't really related to that, but at the same time, it's understandable if you want what you wear to reflect how you identify. Don't feel bad about fitting into society's expectation of what a man would wear. People make lots of posts being like, oh, you know, like men can wear dresses and all that sort of stuff, but I've seen people and I've seen posts that have kind of like been like slightly digging at people and guys who kind of fall into the category of like wanting to be masculine, almost like, you know, you should be doing more to like fight society's prejudice and stuff like that, and like, you know, that's all well and good, and I don't want this to come across in a bad way, but it's okay to want to be perceived masculine. It's okay to have a very masculine dress, and it's okay to not want to wear dresses, you know, like everyone's different, and I think that's important. I'm gonna like stop the video because I'm gonna end up like going completely off tangent. I hope my advice helped. If you need any more questions, message me. Also, we're changing days around on Transtastic. Starting next week, I'm gonna be posting videos on Thursday, so that'll be good. Hopefully I won't be running late, but if I do, I'm sorry. Yeah, okay, goodbye. I'll see you next time.